TV. I'm your host, Kendra Bell, and we're in downtown Memphis at Sun Studio. It's also known as the birthplace of rock and roll. Let's go in. We're going to take a tour. You're going to love it. Tons of stuff to see. Follow me. We're just inside the entrance of Sun Studio, and I'm here with Mark Stewart. You're going to give us a tour today.
That's right. I'm going to give you a tour. Absolutely. I'm glad you guys are here. Absolutely, Jeff.
Thank you. Let's do it.
Music back then, it really wasn't getting recorded that much in 1950. So Sam was like, I'm going to start a little studio called the Memphis Recording Service. So here for the first 2 years, he was simply just making recordings for other labels. You know, he did a lot of recording for Chet's, Ike Turner, Howlin' the Wolf, all that. He made records for RPM, B.B. King Records. So what until about 1952, when a little group came in here, Jackie Brenton and Delta Cats, or actually Ike Turner came in about 1951. And Ike Turner kind of plays a pretty important role in the early days. A lot of folks don't know that. So yeah, like way before the Ike and Tina days, he was kind of like Sam's unofficial talent scout, who kind of brought all these blues guys here. But while Ike plays an important role in the early days, is he would make a recording here called Rocket 88, which a lot of rock and roll scholars claim was the very first rock and roll record. And money was made, but not for Sam Phillips. So I think that's when Sam had the idea, I'm going to start a record label. I'm tired of everybody making all the money but me. So Sam goes in the business. So in 1952, he starts his own record label, which is the Sun Record Company. But the story doesn't really get cooking, as you know, until that little boy from Tupelo, Mississippi. I think he moved here, he was about 12, 13 years old. He had just graduated from Humes High School, which is down the street to this very day, Elvis Presley. Nervously, he just started playing an old blues number by Arthur Crudup called That's All Right. And then Scotty Moore and Bill Black, his little band at the time, they kind of jumped in, just kind of being goofy, just playing it way too fast and putting a hillbilly beat to it because those guys didn't know how to play blues. Sam comes flying out the doors like, Elvis, there you go, you've been holding out on me. Play it louder, play it faster. He did. And I guess you can say the rest is history. So Elvis would continue to record here about the next year and a half. And then, as you know, he blows up. Harold Jenkins, you might know him better as Conway Twitty, got his start in this room. Helena, Arkansas, not too far from here. Of course, probably one of my favorites, from Dyess, Arkansas.
Mr. Cash.
There you go, the man in black. He came a few years later in the story, so I think we're about 55, 56 here. And his old stories, he's fresh out of the Air Force. He moved to Memphis, had a couple of kids already. I think he was a door-to-door plant salesman. But he wanted to audition for Sam, was a country music singer. So you can kind of imagine a young Johnny walking through that front door. He wants to audition for Sam. And I think that, as the story goes, I think Sam was kind of busy that day. He didn't have time to audition Johnny Cash, but Johnny was very persistent. You know, it said that Johnny would just sit out on that curb all day long and wait on Sam to, come up and give him a shot. And I think Sam kind of respected his persistence. Finally, he's like, okay, kid, I give you one song, you better make it good. And guess Johnny made it good. So then just a couple short years later, he'd walk out that front door, one of the biggest country music singers of all time. So most of those songs that we know Johnny for today were the ones recorded right here in this room, which I think is kind of special. December 59, lease is up, Sam's out of here. He doesn't renew the lease, he's big time now. So he takes all his money and he builds the studio of his dreams, which is called the Sam Phillips Recording Service, and it is down the street to this very day. When somebody got the wild idea, it was not Sam Phillips, to purchase this entire building, including the space next door you guys are in, and the little space upstairs, and combine all the spaces and sell y'all a ticket to see it. That's when it became a tourist attraction. But I tell folks, we never stopped being a studio. So since the heyday, we've had Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, Mick Jagger was here a couple years back. U2 recorded here, that Rattle and Hum record, which is a pretty big record.
No clue about U2 and Mick Jagger. That just blows my mind that they were here. Named correctly as the birthplace of rock and roll, the studio. And your knowledge for it and the studio is absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers to the American Dream TV. Until next time, thanks for joining me today.